people make are like, how the fuck did you even come up with this idea?
Yeah, my guess is a lot of trial and error. Like a lot, they probably did so much random shit that. Like I wonder all the stuff you don't see that like that now they're known for this one random thing. All the random stuff that they did try that you don't see.
Oh man, yeah, some shit's crazy. Some shit is fucking crazy. But these fucking wild motherfuckers come up with it, and then they go, "Now I'm gonna post it."
And they post it every day, and they keep
They
that,
do it
and
every
it
day.
becomes their identity.
Yeah. Oh man, how are those apple cider ones?
Good, I like it. Want to try them?
Yeah, give me one.
It's an 8 though.
I only have 8s. I usually go with the berry ones that Jeffrey has,
Mhm.
and they're only 8s that I found, so they're okay.
Have you found them anywhere like by us, like in store?
Yeah, the Wawa that's over
Wawa's
by
the only
us.
place I've found that carries them.
I haven't gone to Quick. I haven't looked really anywhere. I know that Dietrich's carry Zins and they carry.
Yeah, I've seen places carry a lot of, but as far as breakers, I've only seen them in Wawa's.
Yeah, I mean I don't go into a lot of places. I'm sure like maybe a 7-Eleven might have one.
Mm.
If you
Yeah, I've only seen breakers in Wawa. All right, cool. I really can't see that.
I don't see a light on. Oh, but
you see the
yeah,
red
yeah,
the
you're
barrier
good.
on? Yeah.
We're good.
All right, cool. All right.
Having trouble there?
Yeah, a little trouble, a little technical difficulty. We're here.
We're back.
Week 8. Bum bum bum.
Lucky number 7.
Yeah, we just passed 7.
8's a money number though, so big money.
All right, this is the episode we're gonna get rich off of. This is the one.
We're only gonna talk numerology. The
Oh,
little
God.
information that I have.
I was gonna say I spent like maybe a month getting really into numerology, and then I just got really bored and stopped paying attention to it.
I never did a lot of research myself, but Dave was big in it, so I listened to him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did like little bits here and there. I like the numbers 3, 6, and 9. And
3 is like my just favorite number for like no reason.
I like those because Nikola Tesla said he has a quote something like, "If you understood 3, 6, 9, like the meaning of the numbers or something, you would understand the universe or something like that."
Mm-hmm.
So that always stuck with me.
I've always seen 3. There's like the 3-6-9 method, which I used to do, but as I got more like into God, I stopped doing it. It's like if you pick it up a lot in songs, I've heard it a lot now. People mention like 3-6-9 the method. It was whatever your goal is, you have like a sentence. Like I used to do, I'm the first millionaire in my family. You write it 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night. You do that every single day. And so you're supposed to write that whatever that thing is 3 times, 6 times, 9 times, and it's something about the core. Like some people say it's just because like repetition, it keeps your mind like. And some people are like, no, it's something about the 3, 6, and 9. Yeah, I've heard that like the 3, 6, 9. I feel like I've heard the Nikola Tesla had something like with that.
Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit of research and I try to remember some of what I've learned and some of what Dave talked about. Like, I know that there's like the numbers are only 1 through 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then after you get out of 9, you add all the digits together to come to a number.
Yeah, you
So like 10 is
yeah.
1, 12 is 3, 15 is 6. And then like, so I know that like, I think 8's a money number and I think 4 is something having to do with fortune. So like they're both money numbers, but one is more like finance oriented and one is a little bit more like success oriented. I've seen people who are really big into numerology and they'll curate everything. I do it sometimes. I do it with like the audio volume in my car. I'll only put it on certain numbers.
Oh, interesting.
I used to do it in only on 5s, 5, 10, 15,
James is
20.
like that. It needs to be like a round number, like a 10 or
yeah. But then like even like YouTube videos, people will make it so that you add up all the numbers of however long it is. So if it's like 12 minutes, 43
the
seconds,
total
it'll become one
like
thing.
the 1 month I was really into it. Like that was one thing. Like the one guy I was watching during. There's like one guy on like an older white dude who's like known for.
I've
I think
seen
he's
him
like bald,
before.
like that guy. Like there was one when I was like study it for a month. It was like if you're selling a product, you add up like whatever your cost is, make the cost of your product so it adds up to be 8 because that's a money number. So like stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a couple good ones.
Yeah, I know people like really live their life like. So like if it's an 8, like depending on what day it is, like on certain days you don't do certain things because today's a number of money, so you do things relating to money on this day, and tomorrow is 7, so it really and like that kind of stuff. And they really curate their life around it. Um,
I mean, I think there is a good amount of merit to numerology because everything can be boiled down to like numbers in one way, shape, or form. Even I don't know specifics here, but um, there's a language way like hundreds and thousands of years ago that they didn't have. I don't remember if it was a number system or a letter system, but what they had was one character system, and it was both. So for every word, there was a number associated with that word. So like counting would be like apple, banana, orange,
oh
cucumber,
yeah,
right?
it had like yeah.
Because those words had numbers related to them. Um, and then like even if you look in like jump right back into the Bible speaking, if you look at like 7 is the number of God, 6 is the number of man. Like even with like religious stuff, there's a lot of importance on numbers. I think like the Holy Trinity. There's
Yeah,
three
I was
of
gonna
them.
say yeah,
Yeah,
the whole like yeah, like numbers are symbols in Christianity, and they all like it's not just like if he says like three of this thing, it's not yeah, it's not just like because he wanted three of it. It has to do with like certain number. Yeah,
yeah. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. But then like if you partake in like simulation theory, numbers are like the coding to
yeah,
our universe.
yeah. How
So
everything yeah, because yeah, everything. I mean yeah, because I'm sure even if you went like yeah, I'm sure yeah, because it'd be interesting yeah if you really like I don't even know how I'm trying to explain like you broke it down onto like every like molecule had a number and if it were like correlate to like yeah because it is like you like it is like the coding of how everything is yeah, everything
written,
operates.
created, operates. That's a good one. It's very interesting. I don't even know where that kind of came from. Anyways,
But yeah, numerology, crazy.
interesting. So what's up? What's been going on?
Not much, nothing much since the I'm trying to think over the last week. Just really kind of a lot more of whatever everything I was talking about. Just getting real like balanced in life and kind of not being stressed out about stuff and kind of just dealing with like the balance of everything.
That's fair. That's fair.
The one realization I did come to yesterday, because I've been trying to not distract myself as much, whether it's when I'm driving or like, because I'm so used to like my normal routine is like I either always am like watching if I'm here editing, I'm watching something. If I'm driving, I'm listening to something. If I'm making food, I put headphones in and watch YouTube videos. So I feel like I'm really distracted. So I've been trying to almost make myself bored, even though there's not times like I could think when I was a kid. I feel like I had so many creative ideas because I was just bored a lot. I'd get out of school and it's like I have nothing to do. I want to create something. I have nothing to do, and it was just. Um, so I've been trying to just like give more time to just like not doing that. And the other morning, I was reading, and then when I finished, I wasn't listening to music when I made food and stuff, and like I came to a realization that for like the longest time, my mentality was like I'm not gonna do like the like I don't know. I deemed a lot of things like not important because I was like my time should be used on the most important thing. I'm trying to change my whole life and like retire everybody in the family. So like I should use all my time on these just things I deem as important. And even like little things like doing laundry or washing dishes. It's like that's not important. I shouldn't spend time doing that. And then I like came to the realization it was when I was reading the Bible the one morning that I was like, damn, like I gotta humble myself a lot. Not even a negative way, just on like if I want to like be happy, I think, because like going off the Bible, Jesus is if I think I'm it got important tasks to do, Jesus has the most important tasks to do. That is the most important stuff. And he was washing servants' feet. It's like a comment that it's like a story that's told all the time how Jesus was like bent down and like would wash his servants' feet. And I was like, damn, like this motherfucker got the most important. Like I think my stuff's important. Like he got important stuff to do, and he still will spend time to do these things. So I was like, damn, like that, like I gotta humble myself and like not deem anything not important. Like obviously certain things like try to save time, but like some stuff I think I gotta like reassess and treat like not everything needs to be this thing that just grows wave changer does this thing kind of like to have a happy life. And that's like I started like it just in the past couple days I started doing the dishes. I did the dishes at your house the
And
one
so
day. I did the dishes at mom's house today. Just like trying to add even just starting with that and then like doing laundry or little things just to add in that instead of like putting off onto other people where it's like the yeah like just little things like that adding in not even just out of like the mindset of like so oh, I did your dishes, so you're like me, but you really just do it out of like to service other people. Um,
It's good. It's like food for your soul.
yeah,
Like I get what you're saying with like trying to not hold this weird tier list that you have of like importance and like other things that pop in just instantly take priority over other
yeah.
stuff. I get that. I do that too with some stuff.
Yeah, and I think it carries. I'm trying to carry it more into like how for like the longest, like the whole mindset I have of like starting a business where it's like you gotta like not talk to friends and not do this, which like I also like I agree with to a certain extent of like you do gotta like separate stuff from your life, but now kind of taking the step back where it's like business was like basically my god, and for a large part of my life where it's like this was the thing that like kind of taking a step back from that, it's like yeah, like obviously putting time into this thing that means I don't have time for like hanging out with friends or like doing random stuff, but not taking it to an extreme where it's like spend time with the people you care with, like don't like I wouldn't even like entertain like a conversation over text with some of my friends because I'd be like this conversation doesn't push my career further, so I don't need to spend time on it versus like I could spend some time having a conversation out of just service for like maybe they're going through something, maybe I could talk to them, maybe I could just and like for service to myself and kind
Yeah,
of like
even
that
if it's
like
just for you.
yeah.
Yeah, like cuz when you were saying a second ago about not distracting yourself as much. I mean, I think everybody kind of is like hyper distracted now because of technology, and especially with like the reels and the shorts and all these like really fast paced content. Um, I too, I tried for a while to not distract myself with other things because much like you, if I'm in the car, I'm listening to something. If I'm doing a lot of things, I'm always like trying like not when I'm editing, I try not to watch stuff because I try to pay attention. I'm still like in a learning stage of like making sure I can understand stuff. But like if I'm playing, there was a period of time where I would only play like mindless games where I can like multitask. I can watch a couple things while I do stuff, blah blah blah. Um, but then I try to remind myself to not distract myself as much, and it allows you to do two things. If you're doing something and you're forcing yourself not to distract yourself, you could put a little bit more effort and like heart behind whatever you're doing. But then also, if you don't distract yourself, generally during not important things, so like editing is more important
Yeah,
than like
like
say washing the
yeah,
dishes
or
or
like cutting
making
the
food.
grass. Yeah, like
If you don't distract yourself in those moments, you kind of allow yourself to like mentally grow a little bit. Like you were saying, with it brings a little bit more creativity back into your mind. Um, Someone said something in a video I watched a long, long time ago, and it stuck with me. And when I see myself distracting myself a lot, I try to fall back onto what dude said, and it was Markiplier. And Markiplier was talking, I forget who, because the video I saw was like had to have been years ago now. But he was talking about um, every time anybody's driving, they're always listening to something. And Markiplier said that he almost never listens to anything when he's driving. That's his thinking time. When he, driving from place to place, if he's in the car for a while, he just like if there's other people in the car and they put on stuff, it's whatever. But if he's by himself or he has control over like the radio, say, he will like actively choose not to listen to anything, and it allows him to like work through things mentally, and or he'll like I'll talk to myself a lot. Like I talk to myself in my head a lot, but all the words get all jumbled. So I'll like speak out. Like last night I was laying in bed talking to myself out loud, trying to process stuff, or like I do it in the shower a lot. It's really good. It's like really good for you because as you're like distracting yourself time after time after time, in the short in betweens, there is the personal growth that you do have. But if you give yourself more opportunities to have like the boredom moments, you can like process things at like an exponential rate. You know what I mean?
I've really seen the value. I started paying attention to it just out of because I was like even in the car, like I've really like, switched over all the music I listen to. Honestly, not even like consciously, just like I'm only really listening to like Christian artists and rappers and stuff. And I was catching myself I'm like I was proud of myself. It's like okay, I'm listening to like music that is about God and stuff, and that's good. And then I was like realize that but I'm still just kind of distracting myself to when I should just be in silence or just like sitting there in my mind to be able to hear God. I heard one thing where it was like people are like complain like somebody's complaining about like why don't I never hear from God or like ever get a response from God, and it's like well do you ever like leave time to like hear him, or like are you always is there always something going on? You listen to something, watch it, like so you never like hear those things. Like you're asking for stuff, you're trying to talk to him, but like you're kind of just saying stuff to him, and then you're distracting yourself to even listen. And then it just made me think of like the broader of like that, like just having time even for just new ideas to come out. And I was like, damn, like I feel like even I was thinking about in like middle school how I would just have so many ideas of like all different stuff to do, and like now I don't necessarily have like as many ideas, like just random ideas. And I was like, yeah, because like back then I can remember being like bored, like and I can't remember the last time I was actually bored because there's always something I can do, or like if I'm not doing something, it's I'll put something, watch something, and like now it's social media, and like this was even before like when it was like just Netflix. Now there's all streaming sites. So, like even if you're not like if you could find something, I could just find something to put a movie. I could find a movie versus like before, if you're not going to the movies, you're not wanting like you're just there's less to consume, so there's just more time for just like thoughts and like yeah, seeing the kind of value in just like that, like sitting in silence for a while and like really yeah,
Being with yourself.
yeah, like there's like I like the way you put it, like it's exponential, like the amount of ideas and thoughts you have. It's like you grow so much more when it's just like that versus like I really I started doing it a lot when I'm driving up to pick Law up or drop her off, pick her up on the way there or back when it's just me. It's like an hour and a half to 2 hours depending if I'm coming from here or the house, and it's like a lot of times I'll like for like either half the drive, so like usually like an hour, the first half or second half, I'll just turn everything off and just sit in silence. And it's like crazy. I noticed like the amount of just thoughts and like even whether they're ideas or just stuff I was struggling with or stressing over. I'm like, wow, in 1 hour, I just came to like something like a realization about this where I've been stressing for a week. And I used to joke with Law all the time that when when we first got together years ago, every time she'd go back home because when she was living in Jersey, she'd drive back home to see her parents, and every time on that drive, it would like we'd end up in some sort of like she'd come to some realization or something like was changing. And it was before we had like a healthier relationship, I think, than we do now. And I would joke with her that it's like you're not allowed to go up there anymore. Every time you go on that drive, like something's shifting, like something's changing. You come, and then until now, or with us now, when I started going driving up to her up there, I'll like literally joke with her now that I'm like, I understand why every time you'd go back home, it wasn't because you went back home. It was this drive, this 2 hour drive where you just sitting with yourself in this car. You come to all types of realizations, and even now, like the last time I just dropped her off 2 days ago, we were driving up and we like had this deep conversation about like God and stuff, and then we got up there and she was like, "See, and I'm telling you, this drive like does it.
It's something
like,
special.
yeah." Even Togi talked about it in a video a while back I watched where he was like talking about people who complain about not having. They were like, "You have all these like schemes for money. Like, where do you come up with schemes?" And he was like, "Everybody has good ideas. You just don't spend time with them." He's like, "You want to come with ideas? Sit in your car and go for an hour drive and don't listen to anything. Just sit there." And then his other example was, if you really want ideas, stare at a wall. Don't listen to anything. Just put yourself in a chair, stare at a wall. I guarantee you within 30 minutes to an hour, you're going to have some ideas. I was like, damn, that's true, because it's just about like giving your time, because our brains are really like the ultimate supercomputer. And it's like if you're just not like you're just distracting it. It's like if I used my computer to just run Minecraft versus if I let it do what it can do,
Yeah, you could do
and
so
not
much more.
fill all its computer stuff with just random stuff, like it could do so much more stuff.
Yeah, the distracting and like that's part of the reason why I took off all the social media on my phone for a while there. I added a bunch of it back on for personal reasons, like wanted to stay up to date with what's going on in the world, or like I downloaded Instagram again to stay connected with some friends and whatnot. But I took a lot of it off, partially for not distracting myself, because I don't like the feeling I get when I'm too distracted, and a lot of it was like lay down late at night, trying to go to sleep, and then you're like scrolling for an hour and a half, and that really kind of like it kills me after it. Like when I go, oh, I gotta turn this and put it down, and I lay there for a second, I'm like mad at myself. So it was like a mix of that, and then I'm so tired of just there's always like half naked girls everywhere, and it just gets under my skin. So like I got rid of social media because you can try and curate your feed to an extent, but
Yeah,
still
but
they're
they're
just gonna
still
keep pushing it,
yeah,
and
100%.
it's so annoying,
I mean,
man.
yeah, I've went through many waves of like I've always been even as like it's my whole job for the last almost 10 years now has been through social media. So like I need it to a certain extent, but even with that, I've always been on the other side of like not consuming. I'll go through long periods of time where I'm like very much not consuming. I've never removed it because my job like I need it for posting, but I'm really good at like right now I'm like I don't really consume like like I'm trying to think. The only times I really consume it is when I'm in the bathroom sitting on the toilet for like 10 minutes. Like that's the but I don't really go on social media and consume it almost like really ever anymore. But yeah, that kind of mix it out. Like now it's more so for like the distraction. But even like back then, when I first started doing it, it was because I would like it would cause a lot of like comparison to me. I would see like I would like for I started following a bunch of different directors as like I'm gonna get inspiration from these people, and then it quickly turned negative where I wasn't getting inspired. I would get on, see somebody else did something, and no matter how like I could have spent the whole day working on a project and multiple projects and finishing stuff and love everything, but the second I'd get on Instagram, I'd immediately feel like I'm not doing enough. I got to do more, and I didn't like that feeling of like no matter like, and I realized no matter what like what I do, if we just did a shoot and I edit and finish and so like no matter what, I would immediately get on and be like, fuck, I didn't do enough, and it's like I didn't like that feeling. So I really like separated like that. Like I stopped using it for that, and then like yeah, like not distracting, and yeah, and like you said, like did that. It's always like, especially now as I'm getting more, it's like with the relationship with a guy, it's like seeing how much being conscious of how much just like lust is in the world. Like you said, it just like it's like sex is everywhere and like all this stuff, and
Well,
like yeah,
sex
it's
sells. Everybody
yeah.
just it's always been like the most.
I mean, yeah, it's like the one commodity that you can sell that like like you'll never like if somebody buys it from you or like whatever form it is, like OnlyFans or whatever. Like if I sell shirts, you might like every shirt I drop, but you're what you'll buy five of them. Even if you like them, you buy five. Like you'll at a certain point, you're gonna have these already.
I mean, they don't call it the
Sex,
oldest profession for
yeah, sex
nothing.
will, like is the only thing you could sell indefinitely forever, and no matter how much they buy, they're gonna keep buying more.
You know, it's like a drug. It's crazy. But I mean, there's something to be had there with not consuming content at all specifically, but more generally speaking, like in very very small like bursts here and there. Because like if you look at pretty much every single successful person in any industry, whether they're in finance or they're an actor or a musician or they're a videographer or they're you name it, the most successful people are the least distracted people generally. They're not paying attention to what other people are doing. They're just so hyper focused on what they're doing. And like there's caveats to like entertainers and like content creators and stuff where part of their job is like going online and finding stuff like a good example would be like Charlie, where he'll go and he'll just like find a bunch of shit and he'll talk about it, or like like right now there's a lot of hype and a lot of eyes on the YouTube slop tubers and stuff like Pegasus, more Pegasus.
Mm. They'll just cover the drama.
They're
Like, yeah,
covering a lot of drama
yeah,
and stuff like this.
yeah. Like them, and then like I mean, so yeah, like, cause like I could see how like those people like need for their job, but outside of I guess that, like even being somebody on social media who like I could justify like I need to be watching other directors and stuff to get inspiration. Like I don't even necessarily agree with that anymore. Where it's like I don't like in my field, I don't think I need to be on social media to get inspiration or anything whatsoever. The only person who in my mind needs to be on social media as like even like in the content creation is somebody whose actual job is posting content. Like obviously we post to get clients, but that's not like my job. I just use that as like the marketing.
Yeah, yeah, it's your platform.
Like I brought law on as kind of like to start like handling like the actual like social media, like that position where knowing the trends and being able to be on top of the trends. That person obviously needs to be on it, but like they like I find now like there's no need I need to be like saying it's to get inspiration. To me is just like yeah, it's code for that because it's like you get inspiration from your life and from just like stuff around getting inspiration and learning different techniques is very different. And I'm not learning new techniques scrolling on reels, shorts, and like you research stuff and learn it off that. Um, but yeah, I find yeah, like just like it's like a coping thing to say like, well, I'm an artist. I need to be on it to be on like I get to a certain extent to like understand the trends, but there's way more value if you just focus, put all that attention you're saying you need to like learn on social media. Because like any inspiration you're gonna get, if you don't find it in that first 15 minutes, the value of like time you spent versus how much inspiration you're finding is so skewed. I think that it is just like a coping mechanism because you're just consuming social media and just saying like I'm just trying to find inspiration. It's
Yeah, you're making excuses for yourself.
like sure, I'm sure you're finding some inspiration, but if you used all that time on your actual craft, it'd be way more valuable than whatever inspiration you're gonna find. Because like even like you said, like actors and stuff, like there's a lot. I've seen a lot of interviews with actors, and they haven't seen a lot of movies or seen relevant movies because they're so focused on their role and their thing,
Yeah, yeah,
and
and perfecting their craft and things
yeah.
like this. I think like kind of looping back a little bit to the not being distracted and like taking the time to yourself. Um, I can't really speak for a lot of like Western cultures and stuff, but I know that like in a lot of Eastern cultures and even like Eastern religions like Buddhism and Hinduism and stuff like this, um, there is a pretty decent emphasis on like being by yourself and just sitting in silence and like little to no interactions and these things. Like obviously like the Buddhist monks up in the Himalayan mountains or whatever aren't going to be scrolling on Instagram. They don't use the technology. But then like I've noticed it a lot because it because it's part of the culture. It like seeps into like the more modern culture of like anime and stuff like this. Where like if you look at a lot of, I guess I wouldn't say a lot of, but like a fair amount of um, shows or movies where there's an emphasis on like personal, mental, and spiritual growth. Um, there's a lot of like the theme of like being by yourself and like thinking through things. The word that keeps popping in my head, and I can't put my finger on exactly where I remember it from. It's got to be from an anime somewhere, but it's like it's something called Mind Zero or something like that, where it's like you let your mind go completely blank so that you're like you're fully engrossed in whatever it is that they're doing. It has it's something like in Bleach or in one of these like action shows or whatever where like they use it through like a training technique or mechanism where it's like in Demon Slayer they have all the breathing techniques where like they blank their mind so there's no distraction and it's only whatever is being taken in, and then they can like the reaction times are faster, they're like they're more in tune with whatever it is, you know what I mean? So I think there's a lot to it. And like I wouldn't say it's capitalism's fault even like
But I mean, yeah, I think personally, it's like society because it's way easier to sell things to somebody who's just constantly trying to consume stuff and not necessarily have like original ideas. Even more simple, it's like somebody who's always on social media or always in these places consuming. You could put more commercials and more
yeah.
stuff versus
And then also there's it's like a degree of propaganda. It's like a society that is divided and full of fear is way easier to control. So like in between all of the non like the stupid anime nonsense that I was just showing you before, you have like a lot of political stuff going on, a lot of like war stuff going on, and then you have all your like all the lust stuff mixed in between. So it's just like
it's to keep people distracted from
yes,
like
yes, yes.
looking at the bigger picture or like critically thinking because you don't want a society full of people who are critically thinking because they're not you can't control them.
Yeah, they don't want a bunch of Elon Musks and Nicholas Teslas. They want a bunch of mindless zombies staring at
Yeah,
boobies all the
that'll just
time.
buy and whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, OnlyFans girls. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I remember when OnlyFans was like first became a thing. I just saw the downfall of modern society more so than it already was. It's crazy to me. It's such a turnoff. It really bothers me. But what are you gonna do?
I mean, yeah, it's just yeah, kind of like yeah, it is like kind of what are you gonna do? Shit, like
But I do have to say though, I have to give credit where credit is due. More recently, I, I would say more recently, I was gonna make an example, but I don't want to make the example. Um, there are a lot more people who are like kind of coming to God, and that they're spending less time mindlessly scrolling, and more people seem to be using their brains with a lot of stuff. Like before, not a lot of people would like think for themselves, and they would just kind of like go off of headlines and like, oh well, this person said so, or oh that entity told me, blah blah blah. It seems like more people are kind of coming around to maybe like the realization, and I don't know exactly what I would probably chalk it up to some like recent world events, big and small, that make people kind of not necessarily relate to being like I can think of the word like your own individual, I guess. but like the world's waking up, and like that gives me hope. Like watching more and more, because I mindless scroll a little too much right now, but in my perusing, I see more. It's like it used to be like one out of every 100 or 1,000 posts would be like someone like waking up, and now it's like 10, 20, 30 out of every 100. You'll like people are like this doesn't really make sense, you know, and that gives me like hope. Like I'm one of those people that I don't want to watch the world burn, you know, but
I mean, yeah, I think yeah. I mean, it's like everything's just like ebbs and
ebbs
flows
and
of like
flows.
like the that era was coming, and I've seen the shift of like I noticed it in like in music when like SoundCloud came out, and it was like, and then it's like people are starting to care less about just cookie cutter anything music, and then it goes this, and it just
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like
I'm definitely
I get what
noticing.
you're saying with the SoundCloud wave,
Yeah,
like the whole early Juice World era and all those
yeah.
guys when they came and popped off. Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like the society, and yeah, like I think I don't think it'll like I don't truly believe in my heart that yeah, like it'll society like that comes and goes. So yeah, I don't think it'll we'll watch the whole society crumble and everything. I think there'll be enough that yeah, I think there'll be a more harsh divide between like there won't be as many middle. It'll be like people who are just brainless zombies and people who are like think for themselves, and it'll just build a wider divide between it. And that's interesting to think of like what that long term becomes. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I when I scroll a little too much, I start getting frustrated because you start seeing a lot of dumb, for lack of better terms, a lot of dumb people saying a lot of dumb stuff, and like that gets under my skin because you do 30 seconds of research and it like proves you're wrong.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't get too much caught up into it because a lot of even when I watch somebody who's like that like just putting out like just like something that like you said like you look up in 30 seconds and realize it's wrong. I jump to the side of like this person probably knows it's wrong, but they know it gets clicks and everyone wants clicks and views, so they just say this thing. And even like the like that right there alone could be its own marketing of somebody who like they're purposely saying one aspect wrong, so it gets reactions and keeps the thing, and it just feeds the machine of like
Feeds the machine. But kind of going back again to the like sitting with yourself. I think a lot of people struggle with it because it's like one of the most uncomfortable things to do, especially after not days, not weeks, not months, but years of just staying hyper distracted. Like like the first couple times you do it, you might have like a oh aha moment and it'll feel good, but a lot of it is like you asked like you said before, someone will ask God for something, ask a question to God, and then they'll distract themselves to like hearing his answer for you know for lack of better terms or whatever. Um, but a lot of the in between space in the like sitting with yourself and like waiting for an answer type of thing is very uncomfortable because I was doing it this last week a lot um, because a couple things kind of just popped up randomly in my life, kind of randomly but not really, um, where you just have to sit with that uncomfortability so that you can like process through it or like you can sort through the weeds of your mind to like if you ask God a question, you got to sort through what is your thoughts and blah 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 so that you can like kind of come to that realization, your aha moment for whatever the case may be. And that's really uncomfortable and people don't like being uncomfortable. But uncomfortability breeds growth. That's a quote somewhere and I don't remember where it is. I have to find it to put it there. But but like anything, uncomfortability breeds growth. Like going to the gym and like you have to be uncomfortable working out in front of people, or you have to be uncomfortable like physically stressing your body, tearing your muscles, and like you know, or like if you're like picking up a new skill, like say you don't know how to cook and you really want to learn how to cook meals, you're not just gonna be a really good chef right off the rip. You got to go through a lot of uncomfortability, like you burnt the food, or it's undercooked or overcooked, or like maybe you didn't use enough ingredients or spices or whatever, so it's like really bland or it's a little too much, or there's a lot of like, or like getting into video editing. It's like it's overwhelming. There's a lot going on, so you have to be you have to like make yourself okay with being uncomfortable, you know. And like I said about what, I forget what before, but most of if not all of the really successful people preach that like they live by that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's like it's a lot easier, obviously, to be comfortable than uncomfortable, and we more and more live in a society that's like I mean, it's always not even just now. It's like always been like the goal is to like make things more comfortable because you don't like even back to being like it was uncomfortable to live in caves and always be in fear of animals killing you, and it's like we try to make things more comfortable, but at the sacrifice of that becoming a crutch, where it's like it's way easier to be comfortable, and like you said, most people don't want to be uncomfortable. And now, especially as it's more and more, it's like kids grow up and never experience that like growth in uncomfortability. So it's completely unfamiliar to them that it's like comfort like
Yeah, now you're a 30-year-old who's never been uncomfortable once in your life,
and it's like
and you have no idea what to do with yourself.
yeah.
I, something popped in my head while you were talking, and it fucking just fled. It had to do with being uncomfortable. See if it comes back to me.
But yeah,
Um,
I mean, kind of like we were talking about in the last episode, where emotions are like triggers for things. I think uncomfortability should be a trigger for something for an area you can grow in your life. If something makes you uncomfortable, whether it's like something somebody says, it's like why does that make me uncomfortable? And like or a situation like why like if you're speaking on stage makes you
ooh,
uncomfortable,
that's a good one.
there's something there. Like there's something there. There's growth that can be had of like you not wanting to just talk in front of people or whatever,
Or
and
like
like
make a fool of yourself,
kind
or
of
embarrass
using the where
yourself.
you're uncomfortable as like maybe I should lean into that so I can grow.
Even if it's not like a permanent thing, like if you're not comfortable standing on stage talking to a crowd of people, like it might not be your thing, but the growth that you can receive from that will help you in other areas of your life.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like jump on like try to go on stage and start talking, but like so there's something there. It's not like I would guess that same person probably is uncomfortable even just at like a house party, have it ever like talking out loud in front of everybody, like just like little things. It doesn't have to be like the big thing, but just lean into the things that make you uncomfortable or like yeah, like, all right, like, oh, I don't work out because I don't like working out in front of people. Like, I don't want to be at a gym and publicly in front of people. So it's not like, so there's something there. So it might not be have anything to do with the gym. It's something about you not wanting to look a certain way in front of people. And like maybe it's an ego thing of like, I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. So you just choose then in your life to never do things you don't know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you only do the 5 things you already know and you never grow outside of doing other things.
Yeah, like working at like the gym's a good example because I think a lot of people who have a tough time with like going to the gym and working out like in a public environment isn't it's totally an internal thing. Like everybody makes up the scenarios of like, oh, I'm gonna do a thing and somebody's gonna like make fun of me. Cause yeah, that happens, especially when you're really, really young, like when you're children. Kids make fun of kids all the time. But like in reality, you being like, I'm not gonna go and work out at the gym because I'm afraid somebody's gonna like make fun of me. That's totally an internal thing. Cause like 98% of the people who go to the gym are either gonna totally leave you alone, or if they see you struggling or doing something incorrectly, they'll offer to like explain it or show it to you and help you. The thing that I was gonna say before is that nobody's ever gonna be totally perfectly fine with being and staying uncomfortable with things, but the more that you put yourselves in uncomfortable situations, the easier it is to get over that initial like hump of uncomfortability to push like to be able to sit in that uncomfortable seat to work through it. And like it just like doing reps at the gym. The more you do it, it doesn't make it so that you're not tearing your muscles anymore, but it makes it easier. You can do more reps, you can lift more weight. You can sit in a more uncomfortable seat more
It
frequently.
grows the like the mental of it where it's like mentally you can handle like you said it's like going to the lifting every day going to the gym every day, yeah, it doesn't stop then from like when you add weight it's still gonna hurt the same, it tears the muscles, but mentally you're stronger where it's like you can mentally get through because uncomfortability is like a mental thing, so the more you can build up that resilience the more you can get through it. And even if you start with like simple things like you said like I get like I cooking and I get uncomfortable because like I get frustrated when I try to make something or whatever. Like start small. If you get uncomfortable speaking in front of, you're uncomfortable talking in front of a bunch of people. Get two people that you know, and just try to read something in front of them.
Yeah,
And
and
then
work
next
up to
time,
it.
add a third person, get a third friend, and then like get somebody you don't know and talk in front of them. Or like at the grocery store, like force yourself to like ask an employee at the store or something, like just little things, like you said, because it starts to build that like resilience in your brain up. Um,
Well, I said it a couple episodes ago when we were talking about like people who like I love watching people do their passion or whatever. I forget exactly how I worded it, but it was along those lines. Another thing that I personally like a lot, which you don't see it in a lot of places, and it's probably for a multitude of different reasons. But the one place that I think you see it the most is in the gym, and that is watching people put themselves in uncomfortable situations and work through it by themselves or with other people or whatever. I think that I almost want to like cheer for the person when I watch them do it, because it's like you're watching or you're in some cases partaking in somebody trying to grow and better themselves in one way, shape, or form. Like as doom and gloom as I am, like as an individual with a lot of things, my favorite things in life are witnessing growth in people specifically. Um, so like I love like like taking in people's passion, whether it's like the music that I like to listen to. I listen to it because I can feel the passion behind it, or like different anime movies and stuff, or like even like live action movies and stuff. Like you have your good ones, you have your bad ones, but you can see the passion. I just as much like thoroughly love witnessing people put themselves in uncomfortable positions because like it speaks volumes in many metrics. Like it speaks volumes to the fact that they're they're willing to take steps that most people wouldn't be willing to take, or the they're aware enough that they want to and can grow, and that they have to do things like going back to like last week's episode when I was talking about my friends who just like continuously do the same thing for those dumb challenges. Watching them, like whether they did or not, or whether they will or won't, um, take those steps to like, oh, let me change my attachments, let me change how I play, let me like do this side of the map, let me try a different game mode for this, and blah blah blah. Like actively doing things, and like watching them. It like I love playing chess. So when I get to play chess with somebody who, whether they're good or bad at the game, if they're like at least entertaining the idea of trying to understand and improve at chess, it's a lot of fun. Like I have more fun playing a game of chess against somebody who is trying to understand than somebody who's not trying to understand. Even if the person who's trying to understand, like even more so if the person who's trying to understand is worse than me at chess, and the person who's not trying to understand is better than me at chess, right? Because like you can like feel it's like an energy in the air. You know what I mean? It's like just like watching the growth of individuals and of collectives. Like it's just it's something it's beautiful, right? Like and I would assume a lot of people would probably agree with my sentiment and my statement of that. But I don't think a lot of people really like think about it or identify that, or like or even care about it. Like everybody's has their own life, everybody has their own problems and their own hurdles to get through and all these things. And like I'm a person who found myself in a position in a life that I have where I don't really have a lot of trials and tribulations where I like stay distracted from what goes on around me. I think it's a mix of that, but then also I think my brain fires really fast. So like while I'm doing hard tasks, I can also observe and appreciate other people doing the same thing. Um, like as if we were all doing the same challenges and we're all struggling with it, and like I made myself uncomfortable and was able to push through the challenge, and watching them at the same time do it, then I'll celebrate myself and I'll celebrate you, because it doesn't matter who you are. If you feel like you're being celebrated for just trying, it'll make you want to try again or more. You know what I mean? It makes people feel good. And like I don't like, it's not that I want to like glaze people or make people like me or whatever. But like I know how it makes me feel when I accomplish something and even one person just slightly identifies it. I want to do that to other people. I actively try to do that for other people, even in things that I don't know. Like I don't know how to tattoo, but watching Danny progress in his apprenticeship, every tattoo he did was better than the last. So watching him try new techniques, or like take on harder like designs and stuff, or like harder clients, or like whatever the case may be, and then like in the moment letting him kind of do his thing, and like not necessarily like actively encouraging him in those moments, but then like being there to like witness and just via like the presence, knowing that someone's there and like observing as opposed to like not nitpicking but nitpicking for lack of better terms. Um, but then after the fact, like celebrate that, like, oh, that piece came out fucking great, like bro, you're killing it, blah blah blah, like, and then like as long as you're like paying attention to whatever's happening, you can like just talk about it a little bit. Like someone said something once where, oh, you know what? I think somebody said this before, but I know for a fact that Asmongold said this semi recently. He was talking about like talking to girls or something. Fucking Asmongold, who lives in his mom's attic and doesn't socialize with anybody. But he was saying that like if you want to be like good with girls, like I guess as a guy or a girl, whatever floats your boat, um, pay attention to what they talk about and then like readdress things that they bring up. It makes people feel seen, and it goes a long way, whether you actually care or not. If your goal in the interaction is to like further the interactions for whatever reason, whether it's in a relationship or a business thing or it's like whatever. Like if you are sitting down with a client and they like kind of bring a couple things up, even if it has nothing really to do with the shoot you're gonna do, just like readdressing it makes the person feel seen and makes them feel good. It helps them with like growth and like then they're a little bit more comfortable and then they're like, oh, maybe I will try and bring more energy to the shoot. You know what I mean? Or maybe I will like do this or blah blah blah. It's cool. I really enjoy that. I think it's one of the few beauties of humanity. It's cool. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think people, like people need to do that more. That comes just partially, and with like again, just being distracted and like having so much of your own life going on that people just live in their own bubble, even when they're interacting with people. That it's like if you just aren't distracted and are present with the person, it's like the same way everyone wants them, like everyone wants to be seen and wants that to feel like that, yeah, like they're
I think a lot of like I would probably classify it as like the early downfall of the distraction bubble that we as a society kind of have fallen into. Um, I would say it stems from like at a young age how parents interact with and deal with their children, and like not to like I don't think it's gonna be controversial, but not to like sound controversial. I think a lot of people like the iPad kids whole thing. Like, oh, I'm just gonna put an iPad in front of my kid and let them do their thing, and then I'm just gonna do whatever as a parent. Like, I think it's like paramount to the growth of an individual for parents to just pay attention to their children and like help them understand at an early age how to be, yes, productive and be productive to society, but how to be okay with some of the uncomfortable parts of growing up, whether it's sitting with yourself and like being bored or like trying new things. Like when we a couple episodes ago we were talking about when we were young and our parents were like, you have to do a thing. Um like even small things like that where it's
yeah,
like,
like instilling the be okay with uncomfortability and like
mhm, it helps with growth, and then like that can like there is at some point a fine line there where like you can be a little too much, but I think that there's enough of a gray area where and kids are resilient. You can like push the kid, excuse me, you can push the kid where as long as you're paying attention as a parent to the child, yes, but like to your interactions with that child and how you go about it, where you as an individual, as the parent, will grow, you know, like how to have a little bit more empathy and have a little bit more patience and stuff. But then it will do exponential growth to that child as they move through their life with like socializing with kids at school, and then maybe even how maybe it'll affect how their grades are, how they pay attention in class, or like trying new activities and like picking up new hobbies, or like, and then they get into the workforce, and then like that's a scary one. Like jumping from being in high school, like ignore college here for a second, but going from you just got out of high school, you're 18 years old, you've never worked a job in your life, and now you're thrown into the workforce. So like the little things that I think parents should do, but a lot of things that parents can do throughout a lot of the formative years. But then, like as the you hit your teen years and stuff, it's a little bit less here and there. It'll help with this, and it'll help with being uncomfortable. And like I think I think I think a lot of like the religious families, as long as they're not like super hard crazy, like I don't want to use the word brainwashed in their in whatever their religion or their belief system is. Um, I think that they tend to have a better grasp as they like grow through their years to like being uncomfortable. Like if we had to go to Sunday school every week, because that was a part of our religion or whatever, or like bringing the kid to church or like doing these little things, and like teaching them things and helping them with not just like external growth and like I have to make sure that you are nourished and that you're growing as an adult, like into an adult, like mentally speaking. I think it goes a long way, and I think most of the blame falls on the parents because you can't really blame a 4-year-old for you know,
Yeah, they're just a product of their environment. Yeah.
but and then that kind of wraps all the way back around to the other point that we touched on slightly, which is like being hyper distracted and like being in your own bubble and like the parents themselves are in that position, where it's kind of hard to break out of it sometimes, or like like the the adults who like work 40, 50, 60 hours a week and they come home and they want to relax, but then they have like young kids and the kids take a lot of like there's a lot of need there. Like you have to take care of the kid, you have to make sure they're fed, and then like they're annoying because kids are annoying, and then the parents just like check out, and they like maybe they lash out at the kid or they're always yelling or like it's always tense or something, and then that like a lot of the in between space seeps into the like children are like sponges. It'll seep into the kid, so they like subconsciously grow in a way that is almost unseen by both the kid and the adult, the parent. And in my opinion right now, presently, I think it's almost a 50-50 who identifies that between the parent and the child as that as they grow. Sometimes the parent notices it because maybe the kid gets like really really depressed or like, and then the parents like they don't identify like, oh, we should blah 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 to help you work through this. It's like you changed, you're really depressed, why are you hurting yourself, like XYZ. And sometimes it's the kid that identifies it, for very similar reasons. Sometimes it's the same reasons, like, oh, I'm really depressed, or oh, I, whatever. I hurt myself, or like, I, whatever the case may be. Um, but kind of tangenting there for a second. But I have a lot of personal opinions on parenting, and I don't have any kids, so I feel weird talking about it sometimes. But I have pretty strong opinions. I mean, I watched a bunch of people raise kids, and it just in my life, from people older than me to people my age, and like I got a buddy who just had his second kid, and I haven't talked to him in a while, and I want to go see him. And I remember when he had his first kid, they were super excited, and then he had a little there's a term for it, but it blanks me because I'm not in the parenting realm. But there was a lot of like he was like really depressed for a short period of time. Um, it's like being unsure that you're fit to be a parent, and like it's very overwhelming and these things. Um, but watching people kind of move through life, and watching how the kids kind of turn out, and like and I pull from like my experiences with our parents a little bit, like I think dad did a lot of good things, but I think dad did a lot of dumb things, and I think mom did a lot of good things, but I also think mom did a lot of dumb things, and then that pulls from them being parents for the first time, but it also pulls from how they were raised. Like a lot of the things that dad did right and did wrong, he pulled from,
Yeah, all he knows, yeah.
you
Yeah,
know
because everybody is just a human being who's just pulling from their own experiences. We I remember having that realization of like, oh yeah, like mom is just like the same way I have a friend who has a kid right now. It's like mom was just a person who like had a kid one day. Like you grew up seeing your parent as like this person who knows all the answers, and it's like they're different than everybody else. But it's like this is just a person who like is just kind of figuring it out the same way we are.
yeah. I mean, well, parents are kind of like superheroes when you're a child, just by virtue of them being your parents. they take care of everything. You know, like dad was like Superman, you know, and then you get a little older and you realize he really isn't.
Yeah, he's just a guy who's just figuring it out along the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a whole episode on just I think like parenting and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
that would be a cool
a good
one.
topic of just like different views on that.
In conversations with grandma, she says it a lot when I end up talking about parenting and stuff. Of like, I have a lot of opinions on parenting, and like, I don't think I'll give certain examples because I don't want to like bring certain things up for like personal reasons. But like, there was a bunch of people that I got to watch raise kids through a good amount of years of my life, and just from watching that, was an experience for me, not necessarily to know what I should and shouldn't do, but it was like kind of figuring out what I should
Yeah,
and shouldn't do,
seeing
like how.
what affects how it affects, and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then like you having a bunch of friends, like you had a bunch of friends before I had a bunch of friends who had kids because just of, how people's lives go. Um, and like watching your friends who had the kids, how their interactions with each other were, and like how they maybe changed because of the kid and all these things and blah blah blah. And yeah, that I think we should dedicate an episode to that. That would be a cool episode. I'll probably end up making notes
I was gonna say that.
for
Yeah,
that one,
yeah, because I would say we could start, but yeah, I think that's a good one to like actually spend some time
just
like
like a whole
thinking about it, like
episode.
so we have some like notes and different
And that'll be coming from two dudes who don't have kids.
I bet
We are
you
so qualified for that.
who wants the parenting advice from two guys who don't have kids. Word.
Oh man, yeah.
But yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. I feel like we usually end with like a good like a summary point of it all, and I feel like that kind of jumbled together in my brain.
Yeah.
Don't distract yourself and yeah, spend some time staring at a wall.
Stare at a fucking wall. That's so funny. Staring at a wall. It's true though. It's so true.
I try it. I guarantee you try it for maybe not an hour. That an hour it's a little crazy, but like 20 minutes. Try to just dead ass with don't do anything in a quiet room. Just sit with a chair and stare at a wall, and just what comes to you, like what comes up in your mind.
Piece of paper and a pencil and just start jotting shit down. Like just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like the growth that you'll experience, not initially, because you're gonna do a lot of battling with yourself with being
But that is
uncomfortable.
growth right there.
But as you get through that, then the growth that you'll experience is going to be exponential. And like the ebbs and flows in everybody's life, you're not going to like, you'll have moments where like you'll just be doing it a bunch, and then you'll have moments where you're not doing it at all. And it'll come and it'll go and it'll come and it'll go. So you don't have, I would say it's unhealthy to force yourself forever to do it, like back to back to back to back to back to back. But it is way more unhealthy to not do it at all.
To never be uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah, I think because you need time like to not be uncomfortable to kind of be able to not go crazy or like be able to understand it. But you need like never being uncomfortable should definitely be like even if you set some sort of marker where it's like once a month I'm gonna pick something that is uncomfortable to me, and it could be a wide range of everything that it's like I'm trying to think like to me it would be uncomfortable like just in my life I started right now like even when I started taking one day out of the office a week where we didn't do stuff like that was like uncomfortable to me to do. And I would never do it because of whatever reason. But then I started doing it and I've seen a lot of growth and not just personally, but then when I am here, I've noticed like now that I've like one day a week, like the other 6 days that I am here are so much more like impactful because it like is this nice rest. So it's like I experience I can acknowledge a lot of growth from facing this thing that's uncomfortable or like I was very somebody who didn't like talking in public or like big crowds of people, but now I've gotten like way more comfortable. I like that. I knew that, but I didn't go like find somewhere to be on stage. But I've gotten a lot more comfortable just talking to people, random people and stuff, just through my job now, talking to random people. Where it's like somebody kind of like I couldn't imagine a couple of years ago like random people coming somewhere and me having to give them a tour and talk to them about something. But now it's like I'll schedule tours all day and show new people and talk about this and like you just get that growth from doing it. But yeah, if you don't know the areas to grow, yeah, just sit in silence for a while. That's the easiest one to start with, like because most people are going to be very
drive.
uncomfortable in doing that.
take a drive. That's probably the
Yeah,
best way.
that's
for
easier
people.
than staring at a wall for sure. Just
Yeah, yeah,
drive
yeah.
and don't listen to anything.
Yeah, turn the music off. Don't listen to
Because
podcasts,
the drive in
except for
silence,
ours.
in the drive in silence will give you like the staring at a wall is like the extreme, but the drive gives you just enough stimulation where you're not actually going crazy with nothing. It gives you just enough stimulation because you're driving, obviously, but the silence is still there to just make you think of things, and like you're physically just enough active where you're not like the staring at a wall. You almost hit the point where it's like you're forcing to not think of things because all you're thinking about is like I'm just staring at a wall. I'm
Just
just staring at
staring
like
at the
I'm so
wall.
bored. But like the drive like
Mm-hmm.
forces stuff out of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'd recommend the driving one because I do it sometimes when I'm coming up here, and I'll just kind of sit in silence. Sometimes I'll listen to music. Like today, I was listening to music because I felt like listening to music. But sometimes I'll drive up here, and then my mind will start with nothing, and then it'll like wander to as I'm coming here. I'm thinking about being here, so then it'll wander to like whatever I'm editing for you at the time, and then it always kind of just morphs to like, oh, I want to try this on this next YouTube video, or like I have this idea that I want to use on the next video that I'm working on now, and I just went through fucking 4 hours of footage, and I have next to nothing to use on that, but I still have 3 more to go through, so we're good there. But I have this crazy cool idea that I want to use, and it came to me while sitting in silence.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're dealing with anything in life, I think, and you're stressed, you can't figure something out. I guarantee you. I can't guarantee, but like for me personally, I know like if I'm
I'll
struggling with
guarantee you.
something that like spend some time in silence, and even if it's not like I'm gonna spend time in silence and think about this thing, it's like just being in that thing, whatever's bothering you will come up, and you'll have time to just kind of turn it over and turn it over. Versus like it's you're stuck on something, or you're stressed about something, or dealing with something, and you're just like you only hit that beginning like I'm stressed about it, and then you just continue to be distracted. Versus like when you do like on the drive or sitting in silence, like you'll get through that like this thing is bothering me, but then you just start to your brain just has time to work through it versus like not just being stressed and you're working on something else or dealing with or doing something else.
And we'll wrap it up here in a second, but like what I do a lot when I find myself, I kind of grew into this through being by myself so much. But what I'll do, it helps me, and I think it would help a lot of people, is like is the talking to yourself part, um, almost having a conversation with yourself, but a lot of it is, um, like I can do it without the conversation part where I follow my train of thought really well and I just kind of watch where it goes because I'm good at not identifying with my thoughts. We probably touched on this once or twice before. Um, but like whether it's thinking through it or talking through it, it doesn't matter what the thought is. It doesn't matter the line of words that comes in that thought. Just like have it. This way you can, when you get it out, you're then able to like take a step back and look at it and then kind of process it better that way. Um, like I don't have any good examples off my head, but like when I was laying in bed last night, and then it was either 2 or 3 nights ago I did it, and again I had some stuff on my mind and I was going through some stuff, and as I didn't I understand that you'll like mentally block yourself from allowing certain phrases to kind of come through you because you're afraid that that's how you really feel, or that's like a lot of people just automatically identify with their thoughts and the words that they use. But like separating yourself from that immediate identification, so you just let yourself like spew it all out. This way you, because maybe you, what you're where the mental blockage you're holding on, whatever that is, if you allow yourself to get it out with the non-identifying factor of it, you might be able to then get through that to then actually find, your answer or
Yeah.
solution.
Makes sense.
You
Yeah.
couldn't get there. You can't win the race if you don't start running, right? So like just take your steps one foot after the other. And then by the end of your line of thought that you felt uncomfortable with, you didn't want to identify with, like you can see it in your head, but you're like, I don't want to entertain that because XYZ. I don't want that to be me. That's not me, blah, blah, blah. Entertain it so that you can get to what is you. You know what I mean? I think I think that's something that people should kind of take away and like sit in silence, drive your car, and then just allow it to happen because you're not your thoughts. You are the thoughts you choose to hold on to, for lack of better terms. You know what I mean? Like I said, the example I like to use is punching that baby in the face at the supermarket. Is you go down to the supermarket and there's the baby and you're like, I could punch that baby in the face. That's not you, unless you punch babies in the face for a living. But it's not you. You go past it and you're like, that was the crazy thought. Where the fuck did that come from? You know what I mean? You don't have to identify with everything that kind of comes your way. And there's a lot of identity politics going on in the world. And I think it's hard for people to kind of separate themselves from. But doing that will help you grow into who you actually are. Like deep down to your core. I think it's important.
Facts. We'll leave you with that. I think that was a good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that. That was good. I like the topic. I like the topic of sitting in silence. I think that's really, really, really a good one. That's really important. People.
Well, sit in silence or sit in your car and drive in silence. Don't distract yourself.
Till next time, boys and
Until
grandma.
next time, every week. Yeah, and grandma. All right. Every week, like, comment, subscribe to the stuff. I mean, we're just here to just kind of brain dump to each other. So do it or don't. Catch you next week.
Bye, guys.